Why do I keep torturing myself watching these? Well, because, well, the things, there's a couple of them that I kind of do like, though, but for most part, it's pretty bad still. Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to the next episode review for Anime Month. And back to reviewing, you could say, another hentai anime, you could say. Yeah, reviewing another bad one, I should say. Although the ones I ranted on, maybe you could say as of so far, maybe this is the this is a better one, I could say, which ain't saying much though. But it's based on a series. It's based on a series of games which I've never played, never heard of, and it's a martial arts one. You think, oh, okay, it has much martial arts. Think it'd be action, be good, right? Not really. But so as of today, I'll be reviewing of a series known as Variable Geo Neo, which is, it's like a martial arts type one. Although this is based on a series, which I have which I have the 3 volumes right here, the 3 episodes, you could say. But Variable Geo Neo, like I said, it's based on a series of games, but like I said, I've never played though. So, and I think there was another series that was like they made like that's not a hentai. I think they did. So, I wouldn't know. So, but for this series though, it's bad still. Although a positive I could say about it. I thought the opening was pretty good, I would say. I would say the opening of this was pretty good. I thought the music worked well with the opening, I would say. So it was a good opening. But and I always said before, we're dealing with some type of anime, especially hentai, story and characters, right? That's what makes make the story, make the series work. Well, in this case though, story, given the situation of this series, I think they try to make it go way too complicated on this. In a nutshell, okay, the story is we have our lead character here. Her name is Yu. And she owns a cafe with her brother. They're in financial debt. So sure, for her way to make some money is that she signs up for this, which is an illegal fighting tournament called Variable Geo. And it's a fighting tournament with a series of other girl waitresses from other cafes to fight each other. And for some reason, when these fights happen, for some reason, because you say like, oh, these ordinary girls are just from waitress or whatever, right? But for no explanation, they just all of a sudden they just have supernatural powers. Like right there, for some reason, right? They have supernatural powers, all for no reason, no explanation. And like story, makes the for the villain, you could say, because earlier you was talking to an older guy, which turns out he's a scientist and doing experimentations, and this is just overcomplicates. It just overcomplicates the story of just seeing girls fight, right? But the thing is, though, whenever a girl loses, then the loser girl gets in front of everybody, in front of the whole audience, because this tournament takes place on a cruise ship. But whenever the girl loses, like for instance, for the first round, right, our girl Yu, is up against like I guess it's her best friend, I say. But she beats her, and her friend is raped by the Men in Black in front of the whole audience, and all the audience is like cheering, yeah, right. So yeah, you're cheering, a whole audience cheering for a girl to get raped from everybody by the Men in Black. And even this point where she was watching it as well. And then later, like in the second episode, she's like traumatized by it. And while some other fighter girls are when they lose, they get raped, you know. And then you get this whole complicated story because with the whole science experimentation. Because like in the opening of the first episode, there's this girl who gets an interrogation by these random soldiers, rape her or whatever. But later, that same girl enters the tournament. What doesn't mean to being too far complicated by shooting horror this in of this whole cloning experiment, I guess. And this girl. No, I hear like. I guess well, if anybody has ever seen this series, probably know what I'm talking about. But the girl from the very start, you know, turns out she's like a clone of you, or could make it say that she's like a twin of hers, and that the real experiment because her name's Anna Goldfield or Goldfair, whatever. Her and you are like from the same blood, from the same woman that the Yu's brother is also investigating with, but they're like fraternal twins, I think she said. But anyway, and the whole complication with the doctor's experiments. I don't know what his motivations for all these human cloning experiments, whatever. The guy doesn't give an explanation. And also, one of the fighters you can say an American, right? An American will actually wear like this American cowboy getup, cowboy maid getup, you could say. Turns out she's actually a spy, and they rig the ship, explodes. They get out while Yu beats her sister, you can say. And after that, at the end, Yu does get the money, saves her cafe, right? But after that, then her brother goes back home, and then he screws his sister. So you get an incest moment there. So a whole complicated about a storyline with human cloning experimenting. When you're at the same time when you're dealing with a martial arts tournament, well, these girls have powers that with no explanation. But let's just shoehorn in human cloning experimentation as well. I guess that old guy who's the scientist who's behind the whole thing, the brother shoots him. Yeah. But anyway, then after later the brother goes and screws his sister, and I guess all the other the other girls who work the other girl waitresses, they work at her cafe now, while Yu's twin sister, say Anna, goes along with her brother, which is also her brother too. They just walk along off to the sunset, whatever. So yeah, variable Geo Neo. It's not another not good series, but I'm probably gonna say it's probably of all the hentai ones I've ranted on. Probably this is probably the better of them because, you know, the action if they whenever the action happens is there. I mean, the opening, like I said, is the best part of the series because the opening is is very solid. I would say the opening with the song and the opening, the animation of the opening is very solid. But the rest of the animation is so bad. Like I said, they have powers when they fight. They have powers with no explanation. And so they're trying to shoehorn this whole cloning experiment thing. The reason, I guess that's the reason why he's doing this, because chosen her because she's like the prime experiment. Yeah. But she does succeed. She gets the money to save her cafe. But Variable Geo Neo, not a good. Another hentai series that's not a good series. Although, like I said, there was probably a couple of sex scenes you can say. Yes, I did say that. There was probably a couple of them that I did like. Yes, I did. That's all I'll say further than that, though. No need to get graphic on it. But yeah. Variable Geo Neo is not another good hentai series. It's not. But I guess it's probably the best out of the ones I've ranted on here so far. But since it's not saying much. But yeah, but that's my rant on Variable Geo Neo. I had no interest in watching playing the games, or I know those probably games like those are like popular in Japan, but not my cup of tea at all. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next anime review, and we'll see y'all later. And just real quick, if you heard of this, and have seen it, let me know in the comments if you have heard of it and seen it. So always interested to hear feedback. So, but yeah, this series, another one that is not my cup of tea at all. But thanks for watching and stay tuned. Later.